Hello everybody and welcome to my review of volume number 8 of Satoshi Wagahara's light novel series, The Devil is a Part-Timer. Now, after the short story volume of number 7, this one starts us right back into our main storyline, and whoo boy does it ever start us off back into the main storyline. It's definitely the beginning of a new arc, but I have to say that it is basically bringing all of the events of volumes 1 through 6 to bear. All of the decisions that Mao and company have made up to this point, and the people they have faced, the people they have let live, the people that they have tried to forgive, all of these things basically all culminate into the events of this novel, and this one leaves on a huge cliffhanger. So if you were looking for a more, by the numbers, like self-contained volume, which a lot of the Devil is a Part-Timer volumes are, a lot of them, the main sort of conflict is usually tied up in the first volume. This one, not at all like that. Huge events happen. The ending is a massive cliffhanger, and I have the feeling this is probably going to be the case probably even for the next volume. So this book begins off with our usual The Devil is a Part-Timer type stuff, which is the slice of life elements, which I have always been a fan of with The Devil is a Part-Timer. It has a great cast of characters who are fun to watch, to interact, these sort of, enemies who, well, frenemies is almost like the most appropriate term, right? But in this book, we begin off with sort of seeing the status quo that has been established between all of our characters. The denizens of Devil's Castle, their neighbors Suzuno, Emi, Alice Ramos, even like Chiho, they're all at Devil's Castle for dinner, which we get the impression has become sort of a regular event. We have Mao, who is studying to get a scooter license because McDonald's is going to start doing delivery services. But in the midst of all of this sort of normalcy, Emi kind of drops the bomb that she's decided she is going to return to Ente Isla and to begin searching for some clues as to what exactly is going on. And in particular, taking a look at like what it is that her mother has been up to. Now, of course, with an objective reader, this immediately, red flags. This is a huge bad idea. And it's to the book's credit that most of the other characters are kind of like, have their own reservations about doing this. They don't just take it at face value that, oh yeah, that's fine, go ahead. A lot of them try to sort of get at her motivations and everything else. And even though as a reader, I kind of thought like, this is a horrible idea and I know where this is going. It's still true to who Emi is and what she has gone through. I mean, if we take a look, like I said, this is where I'm saying the history of all of these past 6 volumes. I'm kind of leaving out the short novel, the short story volume, because it didn't have a lot of bearing on this. But in terms of those 6 volumes, we have seen Amelia Justina go from the hero who has a clear job of destroying the demons, killing the Demon King, and releasing the people of Ente Isla from these evil clutches, to and having the fact that her father was killed by demons, this sort of unknown factor that is her mother. All of these things have driven her forward, and now all of that has basically fallen apart. Now she's starting to learn that people in Ente Isla that she thought were decent and had proper motivations, she's discovering were really not like that at all, that even in peace without the demons, humanity is basically incapable of just getting along and getting done what needs to be done. She has found out that her father is not dead. She is finding out that a lot of these things that have been happening may very well be due to the machinations of her own mother. So as much as, like I said, an objective reader, I'm like, going back to Ente Isla is a bad idea. You can see where it is still very true to the character, that with all of these changes and everything else, You know, we saw in like some previous volumes where she has seemed very directionless and sort of not sure which way to go. This is Emmy at least settling on a path. And we have seen with her in the past that once she settles on a path, that she has a pretty single-minded doggedness about it. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing here. So even though it's a bad idea, it's still true to the character. And as I said, with the other characters questioning her and sort of expressing their own doubts and fears and everything else, it didn't seem like that decision was just made lightly or that it was just let go easily. Now, of course, she is only going to be going for a week, and when that week is over, she has not returned. And it's pretty much at the point where that happens, where everybody kind of realizes that this isn't just a matter of her running late, that there is definitely an issue here. There is definitely a reason that she has not come back, that this book kicks from our sort of nice, slow-paced kind of slice of life, devil is a part-timer, into absolute high gear. The back 2/3 of this book are filled with numerous battles. We're introduced to a couple of new and probably very pivotal characters. We have some old characters returning. I mean, there's no way to really get into all that happens without revealing a ton of spoilers, which, you know, I try to not do. All I can say is that if you prefer the parts of The Devil as a Part-Timer when it is very action oriented, this book, once you get past that first little bit, is going to satisfy that itch like crazy. The stuff that starts happening, I mean, there is basically multiple battlefronts. Everybody is getting involved. But in true The Devil is a Part-Timer style, even though there is all of this action and conflict and things going on in different locations, there are still so much character at the root of it. To see Suzuno and Urushihara, or Lucifer, to see their interactions with one another, to see how Suzuno is starting to see herself and her role in this weird mixture of demons and heroes and clergy and everything else. There's a lot here. And to see, like, even Chiho, to see her progression from that girl in volume number 1 who just became aware of this world to now this girl in volume 8 who is confident and able to hold her head high and challenge members of this world with just her intelligence and her wits. All of this stuff, it's this is one of those series that I have really enjoyed because of the characters and because all the elements always seem to work, and that everything kind of keeps moving forward. The relationships keep developing. The way that people interact with each other. It's just a whole package. I mean, with this volume, it is very much, like I said, the culmination of everything that's happened between volumes 1 and 6, and well, even to a certain extent, some of the stuff in 7. And it is not only a culmination of those events all coming together to create this situation that we have in volume 8, but then it makes it very clear that status quo is going to get thrown out the window. Everything is going to change because of this volume. There is no way that I can see things going back to the way that they were before this book happened. And it's exciting and fun, and being able to see those changes happen and yet still stay true to the character is really encouraging to me, particularly when I think the characters are one of the big sells of this series. So volume number 8 of The Devil is a Part-Timer, a great volume in this series. If you've been loving it up to date, I think you're going to be really excited by this volume. As I said, it is a complete game changer in the series. It's just like the arc, I think, from this point forward is going to be like nothing we've seen in the series up to date. I'm very, very excited about it. And I really had held off on reading this volume, and I'm glad because now I only have to wait a couple weeks until volume 9 comes out and the story continues. Whereas if I had read it right away, I'd have to wait months. And the way this ends, I don't want to wait months. I want to know what happens. So really recommend it. It's a series that I generally recommend, but definitely, you know, we're 8 volumes in and there's still lots of reasons to enjoy this series and lots of reasons to think that this series has lots of different places that it can still go and be exciting and fresh and interesting and fun all at the same time. So my next review is going to be sort of continuing my let's get ready for the massive releases of December, and that is going to be volume number 11 of Excel World. Volume 10 was the short story volume. That was, you know, a lot of the stories were set out of chronological order of the main stories. So this one is getting back to the main storyline, and this is one of my series that I really like. I mean, clearly, because I've kept up with it for 11 volumes, but this is a series I really enjoy. Particularly, I think I actually enjoy this more than Reiki Kawahara's Sword Art Online. So I am going to be reviewing volume number 11 next. So I'm all ready for volume 12, which is coming out in December. So if you love light novels and you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. I do 2 to 3 reviews every single week, as well as a weekly countdown of the top 10 best-selling light novels in Japan. Thank you so much for joining me in this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Till then, bye-bye for now.